Hi, it's me again, Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today I'll be showing you the Chausson 768 XLB 2020 model. On the passenger side, this is what's called your Technibox. So this is where you'd fill your fresh water from, and you've got your fuses and charger. If you push the two locks in, it will release the locker, and then take the cover off. Go and get yourself a hose pipe that you haven't used in the garden, so a brand new hose pipe and some hose lock connections, because it's just a brass tap on the side. Put your hose into there, fill it until it overflows, or fill it until you're happy you've got enough water on board, which you can see on the main control panel. If you were wild camping, you will have to travel with a full tank of water. If not, just travel with a maximum 20 litres. This gives you the option to stop and use the toilet or have a cup of tea if you want to take a break from driving. Should you have a full tank and you're ready to move and you just want 20 litres in, lift this up, and this is your travel drain, and allow all the rest bar 20 litres to leave the van directly underneath the chassis. And should you want to clean it out when the season ends or the season starts, you can release this big nut and put Milton or other cleaning liquids in there and give it a good clean out. But we do advise that this is just for showering and dishes water, and all your other drinking water is bottled, as you don't know where you're picking up your source from. In here you've got all your trips, so should your kettle or toaster trip the van, you can try here and reset your trips before you try where you've hooked up from.
Cal, is that a Ford? Aye.
And then in here you've got all your 12-volt blade fuses, so it would be a good idea to go and get some spare blade fuses just in case you do blow a fuse. You can, and your charger will be behind here, which you'll access from underneath the seat on the other side. To hook the vehicle up, get your hooker blade, lift the collar, lift the flap on the van and push on until you hear the positive click, and then to unhook you've got a small lever here. Always hook the van up first, then the sight, as we don't want you walking around the live lead, as your lead could be frayed or there could be exposed wires on there that you're not aware of, and we don't want you to get seriously hurt or if it's in the wet. Come into your driver's door. So in here you've got your fuel. So it's with a Ford, it's an easy fill system, so you just put the fuel lever into there and it'll open up and you can fill the van. And then below you've got your AdBlue, so this is for your exhaust. It'll clean your exhaust out at a certain temperature, your catalytic converter, and spray all the carbon buildup out. So that's a 20 litre tank. It will indicate on the dash when it needs it and give you a mileage countdown. Don't let it get too low down, as the engine might not start. Just top it up as soon as the light comes on. You can get it at most filling stations now, or you can buy it in the drums of 10 litres. It only takes 2. Got your weight plate from when it was a Ford Transit. It's now a Chausson motorhome, so the new weight plate's underneath the bonnet. See, your leisure battery lives underneath the seat. And then coming round, to open the bonnet you will have to use the Ford key, like on most Ford cars. Push it through the driver's side and then the passenger side, so the left and then the right, and then underneath. So this is your new weight plate, so it's 3.5 ton. Then you've axle weights, your HO number is your build number, so if you ever need to quote that for a warranty claim or parts, and then your WF number is your Ford chassis number. In here you've got your screen wash, which is probably the main one you're going to need when on the road. Your oil filler, your brake fluid filler, your oil dipstick, your positive for a jump lead or a charger, giving or receiving, and then you would earth off the engine hoist there, and then you've got your radiator fluid here. So on the driver's side you've got your 2 fridge vents, and then behind here, so all your lockers open with the little key. Put this in here and turn. And then this is your cassette. So your toilet's in there, that's where you do the business. This is where the business ends up. So if you lift it out, it's got wheels on. This will only come out if the slide's closed on the inside of the toilet, which I'll show you once I'm inside. You've got wheels to carry it. Take the cover off here, so take your cap off, and then Go to your waste disposal point, which is normally beside or behind the toilet block. Press the button at the back. This gives the allows air in, makes it pour better. So pour it out. It's normally tap in there, put some water in, give it a slosh around, pour it out again. And then if you are using the cap, it's a cap full of liquid into here. If you're using the tablets, it's a pint of water, and then drop the tablet straight down the toilet in a cellophane, just like a dishwasher tablet, and it'll break up into the liquid. So, behind the driver's wheel, you do have your waste water. So you would normally drive as close to a grid. Normally on the way out of a site, it's called a motorhome service bay. Dump your waste. If it's a smaller site, it could be a grate, a hedge or a gully. And on here you've got a big lever, so you would pull it forward and drain off your waste. It is important in the winter that you drain your waste, your fresh and your boiler completely dry of water, as you don't want water to freeze in the taps. I will show you where the fresh is, which is underneath your Technibox. It's just a bung. I'll show you that in a second. And on the back you've got access to all three back doors. And in the back here, so your garage is heated. It has got 12 volt and has 240 volt in here. It's got tethering points in here. These are your screens. These clip on around the outside to give it a bit more warmth in the winter, and obviously it will keep it cool in the summer. And you do have your gel, with it being a Ford, you've got your gel tyre inflation kit in there. You've got your tonai, and you have your mains hook up and your fire extinguisher. At the back of the van, on the passenger side, this is your gas locker, so LPG, liquid petroleum gas. So you fit one 6 kilogram bottle in here. Turn it on at the top of the bottle. You will need a spanner, adjustable spanner, just to tighten it up, nip it up. Turn it on one full turn, as it's easier to turn off if there was an accident by one full turn off instead of turning it several times. And then to lock all your lockers, you simply put the key in, dot to dot, so there's a dot on here and a dot on the frame. Put your key in, quarter of a turn, and a tap, and once that stays in, it's locked. That's the same on the garage, and obviously your cassette door's just dead easy. You just turn it, and that's just your vent for your heater. Coming back to your fresh water, so this was the Technibox, like I was saying, the fresh water drain. There's a bung underneath the van, so you'll see it, that black bung there. You just a push fit, and you pull that off to drain off all your fresh water. So should you be winterizing, or if you've taken on contaminated water, you can just pull that off to drain all your water out of the main fresh water tank. Once inside the van, so this is your main Chausson control panel. So you've got your master switch here, which will illuminate green, and it tells you here if we are hooked up. We have a green light, we are hooked up. If not, you would just get 12 volt. If you are hooked up, you'll get 230 volt. Next to it, you've got all your master switch for your main light, and then they are just switched all around the van. Your water pump, so make sure you've got water on board. If you haven't got water on board, don't put it on. And this will surface your tap, your toilet, your shower. And then you have got the same light again, but this is the light on the exterior of the vehicle. So this is your awning light there. And then below you've got the picture of a trailer. This is showing your leisure battery reading, so we are full charge. Truck, Ford battery, so we've got about half a charge in there, but this is a brand new vehicle that's just been delivered. And then we have your water, so your fresh water, so it's half a tank of fresh water, and then this will show a red line here on this one when the waste is full, and this just dims the panel. So this is how to operate your Truma Combi digital control panel. So to wake up, press and hold until you get this, and then to enter into the menu screen, just press the wheel, and then you've got a van flashing with a thermometer. Yes, you're right, this is the temperature of the van. So you've got off all the way to 30 degrees. So for this we'll just say 6 degrees, press enter, that saves it at 6 degrees, heating the van. And next to it you've got the water. So if you haven't got any water on board, don't put the water on, as you'll just burn the element out. Then you've got eco, so should you want to save a bit of power, you can put on the eco. You've got hot, you've got boost. Boost will prioritise the water from the heating. So for this we'll just say hot. Moving along, you've got a gas bottle and an electricity source. This is a source you're going to be running off. So fuel, which is diesel. So if you're wild camping, you would just use your diesel. Or if you wanted it hot or quicker, you could use your diesel because it's a better combustion source. And then you've got mixture of 1 kilowatt of electric and diesel, 2 kilowatts of electric and diesel. So you'd use this in the winter, as this heats your water or van up far quicker. And then you would turn it. Then you've got electric on 1 kilowatt. So if you are on a smaller sales site or abroad, you may be asked to use less electric. But if you've paid your site fees, don't waste your diesel unless you're desperate for water. You would put on electric 2 at 2 kilowatts. Coming along, you've got your fans. So you've got eco or high. Eco, if you are wild camping, you put on eco because it uses a lower voltage from the 12 volt, because it just is a 12 volt assisted fan. But if you are on hookup, you could put on high. Coming down at the bottom, you've got a timer, so you can time the heating to go on and off once. And this is just a clock that displays on the main control panel. And then should you get a warning triangle in the middle, you can go to your spanner here and go to reset, and it'll reset the boiler. And to turn off, just press and hold and it'll go off. This is how to operate your Thetford fridge. So A means it's on automatic. So if I was to, and it's picked up that we're hooked up. So if I was to take the hookup out, it would switch over to gas. If I was then to start the engine, it would turn over to the 12 volt battery setting. But this fridge is programmed to wait 20 minutes before lighting on gas if you've been on hookup, because it's the last thing if you pull into a filling station to fill your diesel, the last thing you want is for your fridge to ignite, because it's a sparking, and if it was a naked flame or any fumes, it could cause a serious accident. So this fridge is automatically programmed to wait 20 minutes before igniting on gas. So if you were wanting to ignite it sooner than that, you'd have to manually override. So they've took the automatic off. We're on hookup, we're on 12 volt, and we've failed with the code 6 because the engine's not running, or we're on gas. The 12 volt setting, so with the 12 volt setting, is the idea is to, if you're keeping it at home and you're hooking it up on the drive, or you've got hookup at your storage facility, hook the van up the night before, go and put your shopping in, and then when you are ready to set away, your shopping's all chilled, you can then drive half an hour or a fair distance, and it'll keep the temperature the same, won't increase it or decrease it, it'll keep it steady. And then once you get to your site, you'd either put on gas or electric. And then you've got 1 bar being the warmest, all the way to 5 being the coldest. Obviously in the winter you'll not want it on full coldness, because the exterior of the van and the back of the fridge will be cold, so you probably need to adjust that. And then to turn your fridge on and off, you press and hold here. In the winter, it's good to clean your fridge out. Leave something smelly in there, either a fridge air freshener or an air freshener, just to give the fridge to get rid of the smells. And then you want to pull this lever back here, this blue lever, as it stops the door from shutting fully and allows air in and out to stop any mould or moss and bacteria growing. And you do have your freezer box there. Above your fridge, you've got, this is where your TV would go. So your TV bracket, if you want to fit one, would go on here. You have 2 12 volts, an aerial socket, and a 240. So in your kitchen area on your Chausson, you've got 2 gas rings, which will light there. Just takes a time, as this has just come directly off the transporter. It just takes time. So if you've ever had your fan standing for a while and you struggle to get gas, always bring it through on the hob. You've got 2 gas rings, 1 electric, and your light will indicate to say that's on. Once you've had this on, allow it to cool before you put the glass lid down. And then below you do have oven, and you have grill. Hold it in on the grill just to allow the thermocouple to get warm before releasing. It's a good idea to take your oven shelf and grill pan out as they rattle when driving down the road. So take them out, and then in your kitchen cupboards you've got storage. The plug for the hot plate, should you have any problems, is up in the back corner just behind the drawer, so you can isolate it should you need it. It's just up there in the top corner. And then you do have your cutlery drawer and your switch for your bed. Storage, obviously your light under here has just got a little black tab on, so you just press the black tab and that'll turn that on and off. Your splashback light and every other lights on the switch by the control panel, little rocker switch, and above you've got obviously a fly screen and black outlined on the window, which is a skylight, and then wind it open, wind it shut, and to tell how it's shut you'll see a red lever in this little line here which indicates it's shut. Make sure all windows and skylights are closed when travelling. Then coming through you've got your shower, and that's just a line there, and then that just opens like so. You push it, screen, unlock it, you've got a lock on there, and you can open it and close it and lock it shut. Fly screen and blackout blind on there, they're on a spring, so be very careful, they're very delicate. You've got a hanging rail, so should you have wet coats, wet towels, hang them in there, or if you just want extra storage when you're travelling, you can put some hangers on there and take extra clothes should you be going away for a longer period. When winterising, what you'll want to do is take the shower hose off and head, lie the hose down, as any water that's filled up in here will drain off. And leave the mixer taps open. Leave all your mixer taps from your kitchen to your bathroom and your shower in the open position, as it stops any air building up. And then on this side you've got your washroom, but this actually acts as the bedroom door as well, or the bathroom door, so you've got a sliding compartment on the bedroom, so you can either lock it all off should it just be yourselves, or should you have guests you can shut it off so they use the toilet as well. In here you've got so the most common thing asked is where's the light switch. It's just on the side here, so it's just a little rocker switch underneath the worktop by the sink. You've got your toiletries in there and in here, and then you've got the same skylight as the shower. Then operate your toilet. As long as the pump's on, you'll be able to press the button and flush it. So you'll be able to press the button and it'll come through, just needs to build pressure. And that is your flush. And then to deposit your waste into the cassette, the slide, so slide it to the right and it'll open the trap door and drop it into there. The slide must be in the closed position to get the cassette out on the exterior of the vehicle. And also you've got two switches under here, so one's for your shower, your top one's for your shower and the other one's for your bathroom. Underneath the bed, underneath the flap, which has got a wood cover on, is your boiler. So this boiler holds 10 litres of water at any one time. In the winter you do not want the water to freeze, so this is when this comes in, which is your frost control. So once it gets to 3 degrees it drops the water automatically, but I would still advise you dropping it manually, just in case that this fails in any way and you don't want to break your boiler, as it's not covered under warranty, as it's your responsibility to winterize your vehicle and it's quite expensive to replace. So to winterize, you'll see that if it's like that, the button's popped out, that's in the open position, it's allowing water to drain directly underneath the chassis. So should I turn this like that and press the button, oh sorry, this position is locked when it's horizontal, or vertical should I say. It is open when the button won't stay in, and when it's horizontal the button stayed in. It is holding the water on board like it is now. As you can see, the button has not popped back out. But make sure that when you have winterized, you've opened all your mixer taps to stop any air build-up, and then when you do come to reuse the van, put it into this position, fill it with water, come in, put the pump on, go to the cold side of the tap first, and it will automatically give you cold water. Go to the hot, it'll cough, splutter, make all sorts of noises. What that's doing is it's releasing the air from in the boiler through the taps until the boiler gets to the level it's at, and then it has 10 litres of water on board. This is your master key for your bed and your drop down bed, so make sure that's on, otherwise the switch won't work. But if your battery fails and your bed's down, if you lift this cover off, you can put your manually wind handle on top of the motor and wind it up. So to drop your table's manual on this model. So you've got a small, got a red catch. If you push that down and push your weight down on it, you'll hear it click. This is now in the position, in the down position, and then obviously to open it up, you put your pulley extension and push it, and then you can push the table around the van. And then once you've put the key on to enable the switch to work, your bed will come down and stop there, and obviously that'll make up as well. You've got your ladder and you've got your nets. Your nets clip on around the frame here and up to the ceiling on the nets. It's a great place to store your ladder. Just make sure that you can put your bedding on, but just take your pillows off, and then you can push it back up. And then up, and then to make your seats, so you've got seats on both sides here. So we'll do this side. So take the backrests out. Use the lever here, pull it back, and raise the back of the seat. You've got Isofix on these seats as well, so if it's grandkids or car seats that you're taking with you, they're great because it can be pushed into the seat frame. Put your base on and put your backrest on, and your seat belt buckle is just underneath there. And then you've got a forward facing travel seat like this, and you've got the same on the other side as well. Inside your cab on your Ford, so you've got down to the right of the driver all your lighting controls, so your front and rear fogs. If you just leave your lights on automatic, they'll automatically come on, and then you do have your headlight adjustment, but you can change them to either side lights or full beam. This is just for when the lights are on, you can dim the brightness of your center console and your speedo. You've got your electric windows, your mirror adjustments, locks the doors on a night, so it'll lock the habitation door with this being a titanium. It's got central locking on the habitation door, and your handbrakes down here. It's what's called a folding handbrake, so you might think that's off at the moment. If you put your foot on the brake, pull it up, press the button in, you'll see it's on there. It's now off. You've got all your trip computer controls here, which goes through the screen. Your voice command, so you can speak to the person inside your dashboard and ask them to ring somebody or change the channel. You've got your hands-free or skip the tracks, and then you've got your cruise and speed limiter lights and indicators. Obviously your automatic gearbox, so you go down to drive, then you have your thumb switch, which means you can manually change your gears should you need to. Mode, so mode is just between eco and normal, and you've got your traction control there. On the other side you've got your start stop, so start stop's automatically on, so with it being an automatic, when you get your traffic lights just put your foot on the brake and the engine will cut out. As soon as you lift the brake it'll cut back in, but if you did want that function turned off you can turn it off like so. Fan speed, distribution, front, with it being a Ford you get your front heated windscreen and you've got your temperature, hazards, radio. So if you click here you can change it from DAB to FM to AM. You've got your music, so should you have a input in there you can put on your music or your phone. You can connect your phone as well by Bluetooth is on, yes, add a device, and then it'll search for Ford, and then you can press 1 to 6 to save your channels. You've also got your rear view camera which works well in reverse. On the top of the dash you've got a 12 volt here, so if you've got a sat nav, great place to put your wire in here and then mount it on your dashboard. Phone holder, sat nav holder there, so put your device in and then that'll lock in. And then on the cab windows you've got your Remy blinds, the same on the windscreen which will clip round your mirror, and then the other one will meet, and they are just magnetic strips, so if it's going to be a windy blustery night put elastic band above around the clips because you don't want them pinging open during the night.